Good morning, students. Good morning, all of you. How are you all? Welcome to Sanvi Learning Services. Today we are going to discuss about lines and angles. Can you hear my voice? Can you all hear my voice? Okay. So today we are going to discuss about lines and angles, chapter 4. In previous class, we have discussed introduction part. Okay, what is lines and what are the angles, how the angles will form, how the lines will come. And also, we have solved some exercise problems. Okay, exercise 4.1, we have completed in previous class. So today, we are going to discuss some more topics. So, first of all, pair of angles. Okay, pair of angles. In the part of pair of angles, so pair of angles means pair means two angles. Okay, so first of all, we have to learn about what are the complementary angles and what are the supplementary angles and what are the conjugate angles. Okay, so today we are going to discuss about these complementary angles and supplementary angles and also conjugate angles. Okay, children. So first of all, complementary angles. Okay, what are the complementary angles? So all of you look at the board. Complementary angles. Okay. So what are the complementary angles? Okay. So first of all, I will write the all angles, complementary angles. Supplementary angles. Conjugate angles. Okay. So first of all, we have to discuss these three topics: complementary angles, supplementary angles, and conjugate angles. So first of all, complementary angles. Complementary angles are nothing but if sum of the two angles is equal to 90 degrees, then the two angles are called complementary angles. Okay. If sum of the two angles is equal to 90 degrees, then the two angles are called complementary angles. We all know that the angles will form at corners, isn't it? The angles will form at corners. See here, if we observe this figure, so at this corner, there two angles are formed here, and here, if you observe this figure, at the corner only the angles are formed. Okay, here also at the corner the angles are formed. Okay, so the angles will form at the corner, right? So if you observe the when you open your door, okay, when you open the door and when you see the wall clock, you will observe there some angle will form, isn't it? Now supplementary angles, sorry, complementary angles. So complementary angle means sum of the two angles. If sum of the two angles is equal to 90 degrees, then they are called complementary angles. Here observe these two angles. Okay. So if we observe these two angles, one is 30 degrees, the second angle is 60 degrees. So when we find their sum 60 plus 30, we get 90 degrees. So these two angles are called complementary angles. Okay. So why? Because here 60 degrees plus 30 degrees we are getting is equal to 90 degrees. So these two angles are called complementary angles. Like this, if sum of the two angles is equal to 90 degrees, then the two angles are called complementary angles. And if we observe the second figure also, see here angle 40 degrees is there and here angle 50 degrees is there, isn't it? So when we find their sum 40 plus 50, how much we get? It is equal, we get 90 degrees. So like this, sum of the two angles is equal to 90 degrees, then they are called complementary angles. Okay, children. Next, here one note is given. If a given angle is x degrees, then what is its complementary angle? Okay, so the complementary angle of x degrees is 90 minus x. It means if we give one angle, if we ask find the complementary angle of this angle, it means you have to subtract 90 minus x. Why? Because complementary angles means sum of the two angles is equal to 90 degrees. Okay. Here see one example is given. If the measure of an angle is 62 degrees, what is the measure of its complementary angle? Okay. So to find the complementary angle of 62 degrees means we have to subtract from 90. Okay. So when we subtract from 90, 90 minus 62, we get 28. It means 28 is the complementary angle of 62 degrees. Right? Next. The second one is supplementary angles. Okay. So what are supplementary angles? Supplementary angles means sum of the two angles is equal to 180 degrees. If sum of the two angles is equal to 180 degrees, then the two angles are called supplementary angles. Okay. So here observe these two angles. One angle is given 140 degrees and the second angle is given 40 degrees. Right. So 140 plus 40 is equal to how much? It is equal to 180 degrees, isn't it? So 140 plus 40 degrees is equal to 180 degrees. So these two angles are called supplementary angles. And here also, the one angle is 120 degrees is there and the another angle is 60 degrees is there. So 120 plus 60 how much? We get 180 degrees, isn't it? So sum of the two angles like this, if sum of the two angles is equal to 180 degrees, then the two angles are called supplementary angles. Okay, children, did you understand what is complementary angle and what is supplementary angle? Complementary angle means sum of the two angles should be 90 degrees. Okay. And coming to supplementary angles means sum of the two angles should be 180 degrees. Okay. And complementary angle of x degrees. So if a angle is given x degrees, what is the complementary angle of x degrees means? Just we have to subtract from 180. So 180 minus x. Okay. And see here. Next, conjugate angle. Conjugate angle. What is conjugate angle? Conjugate angle is nothing but sum of the angles is equal to 360 degrees. If the sum of the angles is equal to 360 degrees, that angles are called conjugate angles. Okay. So these three you have to remember, children. Complementary angles means sum of the two angles is equal to 90 degrees. Supplementary angles means the sum of the two angles is equal to 180 degrees. And conjugate angle means sum of the angles is equal to 360 degrees. Okay, children. Now, the next one is adjacent angles. Okay. Adjacent angles. What are the adjacent angles? adjacent angles. The next topic is adjacent angles. See here, complementary angles means sum of the two angles is equal to 90 degrees. Supplementary angles means sum of the two angles is equal to 180 degrees. And conjugate angles means sum of the angles is equal to 360 degrees. Okay. And next one is adjacent angles. Adjacent angles. And after this, linear pair of angles. Linear pair of angles. And next topic is vertically opposite angles. Vertically opposite angles. It means if you understand these all topics, then only you can solve the exercise problems. Okay. So now we have discussed complementary angles, supplementary angles, and conjugate angles. Now the next topic is adjacent angles. Okay. So adjacent angles means, see, if two angles have a common vertex and common arm, so they are called adjacent angles. Okay. Two angles having a common arm and common vertex, they are called adjacent angles. See here, look at this figure. OA, and this is the ray OB. Okay. And if we draw one more ray, okay. See here two angles will form here. Here angle 1 and this is angle 2. Okay. So if we observe these two angles have a common vertex and common arm. Okay. So vertex means the corner point. Okay. The vertex is nothing but common corner point. See here corner point is given O. And common arm, it means see between these two angles one ray is passing, no, OC, the ray OC. So this is called common arm. So for these two angles only one vertex is there and one common arm is there. So like this, two angles having a common vertex and common arm, then the two angles are called adjacent angles. Did you understand, children? Okay, two angles having a common vertex and common arm, the two angles are called adjacent angles. See, if we observe this angle 1 and angle 2, they have a common vertex, O. O is the common vertex and OC is the common arm, right? So like this, the two angles having a common vertex and common arm, they are called adjacent angles. And also if we observe these figures, here also the first figure having a 1 and 2 angles having a common arm and common vertex, so they are called adjacent angles. Okay. And here see this figure also, angle 1 and angle 2. So they have a common vertex and common arm, so they are called adjacent angles. And in second figure also, 3 and 4, 4 and 5, they are adjacent angles. Why? Because they have a common vertex and common arm. And if we observe this figure, see, here two angles are formed. Okay. So and see here, if we observe this figure, all of you, you do this activity, children. Here three figures are given. Okay. And in these three figures, in each figure two angles are formed here. Okay. So what is asking here? Measure the angles in the following figure and complete the table. Okay. So take the protractor and the measure angle 1. How many degrees will come? And also you take the protractor and measure the second angle, that is angle 2. How much you get? Okay, so right here what in figure 1, angle 1 how much you get, angle 2 how much you get, and add them. So how much you get? Angle 1 and angle 1 plus angle 2 is equal to. Okay, and if we observe this angle figure 2, angle 1 and angle 2, definitely here we get 90 degrees angle. Okay, angle 1 we get 90 degrees, angle 2 also we get 90 degrees. Okay, so 90 plus 90 how much we get? Angle 1 plus angle 2 means 90 plus 90, we get 180 degrees. Okay, 90 plus 90 is equal, we get 180 degrees. See here, if we observe these two angles, they are adjacent angles now. Angle 1 and angle 2. Here also angle 1 and angle 2 adjacent angles. Why? Because they have a common arm and common vertex. Here also angle 1 and angle 2 are adjacent angles. Okay. So when we find their sum of these two angles, how much we are getting? We are getting 180 degrees. Okay. So in the same way, if sum of the two adjacent angles is equal to 180 degrees, then the two angles are called linear pair of angles. Okay, children. Here see the definition is given. When the sum of two adjacent angles is 180 degrees, they are called linear pair of angles. Okay. So adjacent angles means two angles have a common arm and common vertex. See here, if we observe the two angles here, they have a common arm O and common vertex O and common arm this one. So these two angles are the adjacent angles. If these two adjacent angles, sum of these two adjacent angles is equal to 180 degrees, then the two angles are called linear pair of angles. Okay. And the next one is angles at a point. Okay, angles at a point. See here, angles at a point. Angles at a point. So when we draw the angles, and when the two angles are formed at a point, angles at a point. Angles at a point. So when we draw a figure, sometimes we get angles at a point. Suppose see here. This is the line AB. This is the ray OC. This is the ray OD. And suppose here one more ray we have drawn. Suppose this ray name is OE. Okay. So here the angle, suppose the angle is formed. Suppose here this angle 1, angle 2, angle 3 and angle 4. Okay. Now observe these angles. Observe these angles. So all the angles are formed at a point on a line. These all angles are formed at the point O on the line AB, isn't it? Angle 1, angle 2, angle 3 and angle 4. Okay. So if we observe these four angles are formed at a point O and on the same line AB. Okay. So like this, if the angles are formed at a point on the same line, so sum of that all angles is equal to 180 degrees. Remember this very important point it is. If the angles are formed at a point on the same line, the angles are formed at a point on the same line. So sum of that all angles we get 180 degrees. Okay. So this is the angles at a point. When the angles are formed at a point on the same line, so their sum is equal to 180 degrees, straight angle. Okay. And the next one is sum of the angles around a point. Sum of the angles around a point. Okay. See here, observe this figure. Observe this figure. Here, all the angles are not at a point. Okay, these all are formed around the point. Suppose this point name is O. Angle 1, angle 2, angle 3, angle 4, and angle 5. All angles are formed around the point. Around the point. So like this, if all angles are formed around the point, so their sum is equal to 360 degrees. Okay, their sum is equal to 360 degrees. So remember that angles at a point, we get 180 degrees. So angles at a point means if the angles are formed at a point, on the same line is equal to 180 degrees. And when the angles are formed around the point, their sum is equal to 360 degrees. Angles around the point. Okay, their sum we get 360 degrees. Angles at a point is equal to 180 degrees. When the angles are formed around the point, we get 360 degrees. Okay, children. And the next one is vertically opposite angles. Okay, vertically opposite angles. What are the vertically opposite angles? See, observe this figure. So vertically opposite angles means, see in the name only meaning is there, opposite angles. Two angles said to be vertically opposite angles. If the two angles are quite opposite to each other, then the two angles are called vertically opposite angles. See, observe this figure. If we observe this figure, see angle A quite opposite. What angle is there? Angle C is there, no? So A and C are vertically opposite angles. Okay, A and C are vertically opposite angles. And if we observe angle B opposite, what angle is there? Angle D is there. Okay, so angle B and angle D are vertically opposite angles. So vertically opposite angles means they should have quite opposite to each other. Okay, so like this, if the two angles are quite opposite to each other, then they are called vertically opposite angles. Okay, and see here vertically opposite angles. So one more thing we have to remember that vertically opposite angles are equal to each other. See, if we observe the figure here, angle 1 opposite angle 3 is there. So this angle 1 and angle 3 are vertically opposite angles. So if the two angles are vertically opposite angles, so they are equal to each other. It means, suppose if angle 1 90 degrees is there means, angle 3 also we get 90 degrees. So vertically opposite angles are equal. Okay, children, already this how they are equal means you have learnt in previous classes. Okay. So remember that vertically opposite angles are equal to each other. Okay, children. Now, all of you. So based on these topics, now exercise problems are there. So all of you open exercise 4.2. All of you open exercise 4.2. See, exercise 4.2, the question is given. In the given figure, see, this is the given figure. The three lines AB, CD, and EF. The line AB, line CD, and line EF. Intersecting at O. The three lines are intersecting at the point O. Find the values of X, Y, Z. It is being given that X is to Y is to Z is equal to 2 is to 3 is to 5. Okay. So here three lines are given and these three lines are intersecting at the point O. And here three angles are formed here X, Y, Z. And the ratio of these three angles are given X is to Y is to Z is equal to 2 is to 3 is to 5. Asking find the angles X, Y, and Z. What angles we get at X, Y, and Z. Okay, children. So look at the board and observe the carefully. Okay, see here the figure is given. The figure is given like this. This is the line AB and this is the line CD and this is the line EF. And the angles are formed here. And this all angles are intersecting at the point O. Okay. And here angle is X degrees is there. And here angle is given Y degrees. And here the angle is given Z degrees. Here given Z degrees. Okay. So we have to find this three angles. Let us see how to find here. So first of all, given X is to Y is to Z is equal to given 2 is to 3 is to 5. Okay. X is to Y is to Z is given 2 is to 3 is to 5. Okay. Find sum of the terms in the ratio. Sum of the terms in the ratio. What terms are there in the ratio? 2, 3 and 5. So find their sum. 2 plus 3 plus 5. How much we get? 10. Okay, sum of the terms in the ratio we have got 10. And from the figure, from the figure. See, if we observe the angles, see, suppose angle X is there. This angle X quite opposite what angle is there? Angle X quite opposite this angle is there. No? So this X angle and this angle both are vertically opposite angles. We all know that vertically opposite angles are equal to each other. So here the angle X have means here also the angle will form X degrees only. Okay. And in the same way, see here angle Y degrees is there. So if we observe this opposite angle, it means this angle. Okay. So this angle is vertically opposite. These two angles are vertically opposite angles. So here Y degrees have means here also we get Y degrees angle. Why? Because we all know that vertically opposite angles are equal to each other, isn't it? And if we observe the angle Z degrees, what is the opposite angle of Z degrees? This. Okay. And we all know that vertically opposite angles are equal to each other. So if this angle is Z degrees, this angle also we get Z degrees. It means if we observe this figure, two X's are there, two Y's are there, two Z's are there, isn't it? So now find their sum now. Two X's are there means 2X plus two Y's are there means 2Y plus two Z's are there means 2Z. That is equal to, and these all angles are around the point. Okay, all angles are formed around the point. See, these all angles are around the point. No, these lines are intersecting at the point O. Around this point O, all angles are formed here. Okay, so the angles around the point, how many degrees? If the angles are formed around the point, their sum is equal to 360 degrees. Angles around the point. Why their sum is equal to 360 degrees means all angles are formed around the point. So if the angles are formed around the point, their sum is equal to 360 degrees. Okay. Now here in this 2 is there, in this 2 is there, in this 2 is there. So take common 2 from this. If you take common 2 here X will be, plus here Y will be, plus here Z will be. That is equal to 360 degrees. Okay. Now this 2 send this side. When this 2 send this side, here 2 is multiplying, and when we send this side, it will divide. So X plus Y plus Z is equal to 360 by 2. 360 by 2. So when we simplify this, 2 1s are 2, 2 18s are 36, 0 as it is. So X plus Y plus Z is equal to X plus Y plus Z is equal to 180 degrees we have got. Okay, X plus, together all X plus Y plus Z is equal to, we have got 180 degrees. But what is asked in the question? Find the angles X, Y and Z. Okay, separately we have to find out. So to find the angle of X, therefore the angle X is equal to find the angle X degrees. So what is the X term in the ratio? How much you can see? X is to Y is to Z given, no? X is to Y is to Z. So here, what is the X part? Is 2, isn't it? X part is 2 here. And sum of the terms in the ratio how much? 10. Okay, sum of the terms in the ratio 10. And the sum of the all angles X, Y, X plus Y plus Z is equal to 180 degrees. Okay, so to find angle X, we have to take the X part, that is 2, and sum of the terms in the ratio 10, and the sum of the angles is equal to 180 degrees into 180 degrees. It means to find angle x, we have to take the part of x, sum of the terms in the ratio, and sum of the angles all together 180 degrees. So 2 by 10 into 180 degrees. Okay. So here 10 ones are 10. 10 18s are 180. It means 18 twos are how much? 36. So angle x is equal to 36 degrees. Okay. In the same way, angle y is equal to find angle y. Now take the part of y. How much part is there in the ratio y part? The part of y is 3 is there. So take the y part 3 and the sum of the terms in the ratio 10 and sum of the angles is equal to 180 degrees. So 3 by 10 into 180 degrees. So 10 ones are 10, 10 18s are. So you find 18 threes are how much? 54. 18 threes are 54. So y is equal to 54 degrees. Okay. In the same way, z is equal to what is the part of z in the ratio? 5. So sum of the terms in the ratio 10 and the sum of the angles is equal to 180 degrees. So 5 by 10 into 180 degrees. Same 10 ones are 10, 10 18s are 180 degrees. 18 5s are 90. So angle z is equal to 90 degrees. Okay children, angle z is equal to 90 degrees. So these are the angles x, y and z. Okay children, have you all understood? Angle x 36 degrees, angle y 54 degrees and angle z is equal to 90 degrees. Okay. Now see the second figure. Here in the second bit asking find the value of x in the following figures. Yes, some figures are given. So in that figures, the angle x, what angle we get at the x degrees. Okay. So we have to find the x values in this following figures. Okay. Now see here the figure 1. From this figure 1 we have to find x value. Okay. So how we get x value? To get x value, first of all, we have to understand what type of angles they are. Okay. See, clearly we know that these two angles are linear pair of angles. Why? Because these two angles are, first of all, they are adjacent angles. Adjacent angles means side by side. What angles are formed side by side? They are called adjacent angles. Or if the two angles having a common vertex and common arm, they are called adjacent angles. See, these two angles are having a common vertex O and common arm OB. So this definitely these two angles are adjacent angles. If sum of the two adjacent angles is equal to 180 degrees, they are called a linear pair of angles. It means these two angles are linear pair of angles. So linear pair of angles means sum of the two angles is equal to 180 degrees. So now it means from this figure we can observe that these two angles are linear pair of angles. So we all know that linear pair of angles, it means sum of the two angles is equal to sum of the two adjacent angles is equal to 180 degrees. They are called linear pair of angles. Okay. So second bit, first figure, first question from the figure. From the figure, we can take that the first angle is 3x plus 18 degrees and the second angle is 93 degrees. So they are linear pair of angles. It means their sum is equal to 180 degrees. Okay. Linear pair. Why we are taking their sum is equal to 180 degrees means they are linear pair of angles. Okay. As they are linear pair of angles, so sum of the two adjacent angles is equal to 180 degrees. Now find out x value. We can find easily 3x plus 18 degrees plus this, remove the bracket, 93 degrees, that is equal to 180 degrees. Okay. So 3x plus here 18 plus 93. How much we get? 3 plus 8, 11, 10, 11, triple 1. That is equal to 180 degrees. So to find x value, first of all, this plus 1 sent to this side. 3x is equal to 180 minus triple 1. So how much we get? 180 minus 111. 180 minus 111. 69, no? Yes, 69 we get. So now this 3 also send this side. X is equal to 69 by 3. Okay. So 3 1s are 3, 3 2s are 6, 3 3s are 9. What is x value? X is equal to 23 degrees. Okay. X is equal to 23 degrees. So like this, by seeing the angles, we have to understand what type of angles they are. We have to understand that what type of angles they are, and we have to apply that condition. Okay, children? And see the second one. Observe the second figure, children. See, if we observe the second figure, here 3 angles are formed here at the point O. Okay. So here 29 degrees, here x minus 24 degrees, and here one more angle 296 degrees. Observe these angles, how they are formed here. These all angles are formed around this point O, isn't it? These 3 angles are formed around the point O, right? So we all know that the angles, if the angles are formed around the point O, sum of that angles is equal to 360 degrees, isn't it? Sum of that angles is equal to 360 degrees. If the angles are formed around the point, so sum of that all angles is equal to 360 degrees. It means here x minus 24 degrees plus 29 degrees plus 296 degrees, that is equal to 360 degrees. Okay. Now find out how much we get. Okay, see, from the figure, second one, from the figure, okay, the all angles 296 degrees plus 29 degrees plus x minus 24 degrees. Sum of all these angles is equal to, we get 360 degrees. Why? Because the reason is angles around the point. Angles around the point. The all angles are formed around the point. Okay. So now find out 296. How much we get? 296 plus 29. 296 plus 29 is equal to, we get 325. 325 degrees. Plus x minus 24 is equal to 360 degrees. Now see here, 325 minus 24. How much we get? 325 minus 24. How much we get? 301 we get. Plus x is equal to 360 degrees. Okay. Now we need x value, no? So this plus 301 sent this side. When this 301 sent this side, it is plus 301. When we send this side, it becomes minus. So 360 minus 301. So how much we get 360 minus 301? 59 degrees. So x value is equal to 59 degrees. Okay, children? Okay, children, in the same way, now see the third figure. Observe the third figure. Observe the third figure. Here, two angles are formed here. If we observe these two angles, see, they are quite opposite to each other. The two angles are quite opposite to each other. Okay? So, it means they are vertically opposite angles. Isn't it? They are vertically opposite angles. So, we all know that vertically opposite angles are equal to each other. Right? So, here 2 plus 3x is equal to 62 degrees. Okay. From this, you find x value easily. Here, write the reason: vertically opposite angles. Okay. And look at the board. The given angles are vertically opposite angles. Okay, children. Third one. From the figure, the given angles are vertically opposite angles. So what are they? 2 plus 3x. 2 plus 3x is equal to 62 degrees. Why they are equal means they are vertically opposite angles. So vertically opposite angles. So here 2 plus 3x and 62 degrees, both are vertically opposite angles. We all know that vertically opposite angles are equal to each other. So their sum is equal to, sorry, they are equal. So from this you find x value. First of all, plus 2 send this side. When this plus 2 send this side, 3x is equal to 62 minus 2. 3x is equal to 62 minus 2 means it is equal to 60. And this 3 also send this side. X is equal to 60 by 3. 3 1s are 3, 3 2s are. Okay. So x is equal to how many degrees now? 20 degrees. Okay, children. The time is up. So like this, by seeing the given figures, you have to understand what type of angles are given and you have to solve them. Okay. So in the same way, you complete the remaining problems. Okay, the remaining problems are homework. Okay, children, thank you. Thank you.
Dear students, please have a revision of your social subject as Sir is unwell.
Agricultural sector. Okay, and now today's our aim is to know about agriculture in India. And today we are going to discuss about the two terms, agriculture, types of agriculture. And here you have some keywords related to the topic. First term, already you know, agriculture. Okay, agriculture. And next is subsistence. Subsistence. Next term is subsistence, minimum resource that necessary for survive generally. Subsistence we call. And next is intensive, 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 vigorously, or like intensive agriculture. You have a term in the topic, intensive agriculture. Okay, so a minimum, a short land, it means like a small part of the land cultivate and we get more production or product from the field, generally intensive. Especially intensive meaning is vigorous or extreme, we can say. And the same way commercial, commercial. Okay, the commercial crops we say. Okay, cash crops, commercial crops, tea, coffee, the same way sugarcane, turmeric. Okay, this all come under commercial crops generally we call. Great market value we have for that. And next is a community. Community already, you know, the group of people who lives in a area generally we call a community. Next is farming. Farming a term. And next is Kharif, Rabi and Syed. This is the three cropping pattern in our country. Kharif season in the sense rainy season. Okay, so monsoon season, monsoon crop we call Kharif. Rabi season in the sense winter crops. Remember, Rabi, winter, and Syed in the sense summer. Three cropping pattern or cropping seasons we have in our country. Once again, Kharif, Rabi, and Syed. We will discuss about this. What are the important crops cultivated in the Kharif? Kharif already you know, Kharif in the sense paddy. Rabi in the sense wheat. Syed in the sense in our area we can see vegetables especially. Okay, so other than that, any other cross product like crop production going on or not, when we discuss the chapter, you will get more idea. Okay, once again, let me go through the topic: agriculture, subsistence, intensive, commercial, community, farming, Kharif, Rabi, Syed. Okay. Okay, children, now see who is a farmer. First question. This term is familiar for everyone, I think. Who is a farmer? In your term, you may tell that the person who illiterate and uneducated people may engage in the farmer. Actually, is it an accurate definition for a farmer? No, never. Farmer in the sense, see, the man in the field who work hard on land to grow food for the nation is called a farmer. Okay, many places we can see that if you meet a farmer, we won't give any respect because he's an illiterate person. And because their knowledge, their skill, their effort leads to develop the nation. That point is very important. Okay, the farmer's effort leads to get good income or good position of a country. That's what generally we call agricultural activities is a backbone of our country. Once again, the field who work hard on the land to grow food for the nation. Nation in the sense, people who lives in the country. or in a region, wherever it may be, not only in our country. If you see entire world, we can see the same, because backbone of the country, Indian farmer. A picture you can see on the screen. Did you see anytime this sort of works, or is a plowing process, you know? Okay, before they start cultivation, they plow the land, plowing process. Okay, so these are olden methods. Nowadays, tractor, and because technology developed, nowadays farmers total agricultural activities changed. They started using latest technology. Okay, tractor, harvester, thresher, and many different machines available. But in olden days, even today also many farmers doing this type of activities. Am I right? Yes. Now, some additional information for you, dear students. Agricultural map, already we have commercial crops. You know what is commercial cash crop generally? Here, sugarcane, cotton, jute, tea, coffee. 4 criteria they have given there. And here in the box, in the index box, once you see sugarcane, and which area and which state produces more, that is the concept here. Okay, so suppose sugarcane, where in which part? Here you have Maharashtra, and here what? And next coming to Odisha, even Andhra Pradesh, some area you can see here in Karnataka. Okay, so these are the sugarcane in this. Okay, more cultivate. Okay, this area, in these areas they cultivate more. From where we get sugarcane more? That is the concept here. And next is cotton. In next box, once you see where is these dots, find out. Okay, take a screenshot. Otherwise, take a screenshot and possible write it in your note, running note. Okay, you may get a fill in the blank questions. So dash state is the largest producer of sugarcane or cotton or jute. Okay, this is all about commercial crops. Commercial crops. Dear students, this is an additional information I have told you. Okay, so please take a screenshot and go through this, and from where we are. Next, coming to highest production of wheat. Highest production of wheat, and that production also given in the box here. Highest production of wheat. Uttar Pradesh, Punjab, Haryana, Madhya Pradesh, Karnataka, Rajasthan, and Gujarat, Maharashtra, West Bengal, Uttarakhand. Okay, so here this part you see. From Uttar Pradesh, if you start, you can. Okay, so this particular region, they produce more wheat. Okay, so and their like how much their production also Uttar Pradesh, Punjab, that also given in the index box. Please go through that. Okay, children. And next is the tea producing. That also one of the commercial product, you know. Okay, tea producers. Only some areas. Here you can see Assam. Assam, Darjeeling area. And here Himachal Pradesh. And the same way here you have Kerala also some part. This is a tea production. Remember these places, okay, because you can expect fill in the blank questions from this part. Repeatedly I am telling, remember all these points, you can expect fill in the blanks. Which state produces more tea? Okay, only 2-3 agricultural products I have taken, and I have gone through that and showing you, because we must know some product, at least tea, very important. Let's say wheat, rice. You know, rice, South Indian states, almost all the South Indian states produces rice. Rice is our staple food, we can say. Yes or no? When we compare North India and South India, easily we can classify based on their food habits. North India, wheat, it means roti, they used to eat more. So when it comes to South India, we used to eat rice. Rice is staple food. As or no, in your local term, if I tell Papu Annam, we call. Am I right? Yes. Okay, fine. This is the, and next coming to agriculture in Indian economy. Agriculture in Indian economy. Okay, what is the contribution? What is the contribution from agricultural sector to the Indian economy? And what are the problems they are facing at present in the agricultural activities? These are all the concepts we are going to discuss, and different types of agricultural activities also, and different types of extensive, okay, so extensive farming or intensive farming. Okay, many terms you have. Let us know what is this all. And before, see, introduction of agriculture, you have a concept. What is agriculture if you get a question? What answer you must write, you please see here. Agriculture is the practice of cultivating and farming animals, both. Okay, not only cultivating and farming animals, food and other life forms that are used to sustain life, or which are allowed to leads or to get a proper life on the earth. Generally, we call it as an agriculture. Once again, agriculture is the practice of cultivating and farming animals, food and other life forms that are used to sustain life, and which is favorable for the life and which helps life, that we call agriculture. Okay, so this is the definition. It's a 2-mark question definition. You can see on the screen. Okay, that is the part introduction of agriculture. And some content here. Overview of Indian agriculture, types of farming in India, salient features of Indian agriculture, role of agriculture in Indian economy, major crops of India, major challenges faced by Indian agriculture. So when we end this concept, you must able to say answer for these all questions or all concepts. What is Indian agriculture? What are the different types of farming in India? Okay, features of Indian agriculture, role of agriculture in Indian economy, major crops of India, major challenges faced. Challenges in this problems or threats. Nowadays, different problems faced by farmers. Okay, so these are the content which we are going to learn in this chapter. Content or concept. What concept? Okay, first one. Types of agriculture. Nomadic herding. Okay, part of herding also. Herders is nothing but rearing animals, so carrying animals, we can say generally. So next is shifting cultivation, changing place, one place to another place, and intensive subsistence farming, commercial plantation, Mediterranean. Last one you just Mediterranean agricultural, just not necessarily not related to this concept. So the rest all is very important. We will discuss about that. First one, overview of Indian agriculture. Okay, so this is the introduction part of the chapter. In India, around 70% of the population earn its livelihood from agriculture. Okay, what do you mean by livelihood? Their income to survive. We can say that. In different way, they may get good yield. They sell in the market and they get money. They lead a happy life. 70% of the population earns livelihood from the agriculture. It means 70, less to 30% works in industrial sector and service sector. Don't forget, agriculture is a primary sector. Industrial sector is secondary sector. Industrial sector, nothing but industries, factories, companies, this all come under industrial sector. Third one is service sector. All the government services or telecommunication, medias, all come under this service sector. So primary sector, in primary sectors or agriculture sector, 70% of the population earns its livelihood from agriculture. It still provides livelihood to the people in our country. It fulfills the basic needs of human beings and animals. It is an important source of raw material for many agro-based industries or the industries which depends on agricultural sector. Raw material, I have told you. What is raw material? Sugarcane, an example I have told you. Intermediary goods, we can say. Intermittent. So because not finished product, sugarcane we can sell to the sugar industry. So they process it and make sugar. So like that, many raw material means not finished product, the product which used for produce something or manufacture something, that we call raw materials. Cotton is a raw material, we can say. With cotton, we make different types of products. Am I right? Yes. So this all about, and coming to the entire topic. Before that, what is a crop? Cultivated plants or agriculture produce such as grain, vegetables or fruits considered as a group. So generally crop in the sense, just a term. Okay, what do you mean by crop? Crops in the sense, you know, the agriculture products generally, nothing more than that. Plants or agriculture produce. Cultivated plants or agriculture produce generally we call crop. That's enough. Okay. Example they have given grain, vegetable, fruits, etc. Generally we call. Okay, coming to that. India's geographical condition is unique for agricultural because it provides many favorable conditions. Main India's geographical condition. So dear students, already you have learned about the physical features of the earth or physical features of our country in the previous classes. What is physical features? Plain, plateau, mountain, and we have very good plain area and availability of water. If you want to get good agricultural, what we call agricultural area, so many things or many things are depends on that. One is what availability of water, good climate, the landform, and the fertility of the soil. Good fertile soil. Am I right? Yes, that they meant here. So India's geographical condition is unique or different than any other. Unique character or unique for agriculture base, agriculture because it's provide many favorable condition. Good climate maybe, very good fertile soil maybe, irrigation facility maybe, and our monsoon or the rainy season maybe, moderate climate maybe. So there are plain area, fertile soil, long growing season and wide variation in climatic condition, etc. These all that unique characters. There are plain areas, flat surface of the land, fertile soil. What do you mean by fertility? The nutrient level of the soil to grow the crops. So generally if grow crops or the what we call plants, if they want to grow, they need good fertile soil or nutrient soil, we can nitrogen content in the soil generally, and long growing season, seasonal changes in proper seasonal changes, and the same way wide variation in climatical condition, proper climatic condition. These all that unique character. Apart from unique geographical condition, India has been consistently making innovative effort by using science and technology. Very important. So here in this part, what question you can expect in this is what enable to do agricultural activities effective way in our country? Answer is this, because this first one is unique characters, and second one is the technology and science to increase production. We are utilizing maximum technology and science. You know what is technology? Like latest tools or machines we are using for agricultural activities like tractor, harvester, okay, everything. In olden days, when we compare some years ago and present days agricultural activities, lot of changes you may find, because today we have different types of tools and different types of machines. In olden days, bulls used for plowing the field. Nowadays, tractor replaced. So like that, many different types of activities you can see in the agriculture field. And not only that, many different types of fertilizers and pesticides available in the market to get good yield from the field. Am I right? So these all enable the farmers to do different types of crops or different types of cultivation in the field. Don't forget the term. That is the uniqueness of our country. That uniqueness help these farmers to do this type of activities, and mainly the innovative effort by using science and technology to increase the production. So nowadays, olden days 10 persons or 1,000 persons works, nowadays 100 to 10 persons enough. Am I right? Olden days in the field harvesting time, you observe nearly 100 members or 50 members line they stand and cut the grass. Did you observe that? Yes, still is going on in your villages. Now you see the situation, big machine or tractor, like a tractor harvester we can say, okay, reaches the land and they quickly within 1 hour work completed and all the processing completed. Immediately we send that all item to the rice mill and process. Am I right? This we can see at present day. Okay, coming to next, types of farming in India. And before that, the India's landforms and you know, plain, plateau, mountain, hills, these are the different types of landforms which we can see in our country. India has diversified topography. See what is that? The country has Himalayan mountain ranges extending from Jammu and Kashmir in the west to Arunachal Pradesh in the northeast. Remember, where is Arunachal Pradesh and where is Jammu and Kashmir? Himalayan mountain ranges we can see. And they have hill ranges in the form of Eastern Ghat and Western Ghat. In the northern part, we have Himalayan ranges. So it is almost equal to Western Ghat and Eastern Ghat. You know, it's a hilly region. The same way there also. And besides, India has one of the largest plain area of the world in the form of Indo-Ganga plain, Indo-Gangetic plain, and central part of India is dominated by plateau region. Central part of India, plateau region. The same way Indo-Gangetic plain is the largest plain area in the world, we can say. Okay, so these are the farming types of farming. Before that, an introductory part of our landforms. Apart from variation in landforms, the country has variety of climatical condition and also types of soils. Okay, so please remember all these points, the leaf features of our country and the northern side, southern side, and the important hilly regions or mountain ranges, and also different types of soil, the same way the proper climatical condition. These physical variation along with other factors like availability of irrigation, uses of machinery, modern agriculture input like high yielding variety, high yielding nothing but hybrid seeds available. Okay, and more production. It means we get more yield, hybrid or high yielding variety of seeds, and insecticide, another term, and pesticide have played their respective role in the evolution of different farming practices in India. Some of the major types of farmings are discussed as follows. Coming to the major farming. And before that, you must know about our country and the landforms of our country and what enabled or what made possible to do cultivation effectively in our country is very, very important. From Jammu and Kashmir, plateau region, Indo-Gangetic plain. Locate these all on the map. And coming to the usage of fertilizers, pesticides or insecticide. And the same way different types of climate, factors affecting the climate. Okay, climate generally and machinery, modern agriculture input like high yielding varieties of seeds. This all. Okay, some of the major types of farming, let us see. So this part is very important, students. Subsistence and commercial farming. Subsistence farming and commercial farming. Subsistence, I have told you beginning. Subsistence in the sense the farmers cultivate for their own use, and in this subsistence farming they are not using any sort of artificial fertilizers or pesticides or any equipments. Okay, so generally we call subsistence farming. When it comes to commercial farming, it's a business, or in market value, they concentrate on market values. They use all type of inputs. Okay, let us see what is. Majority of farmers in India practices subsistence farming. This means farming for own consumption, very important. Farming for own consumption or our use. Same concept you can see in the content book. Okay, what is subsistence farming? Very important. This is all classification of farming. So in this subsistence farming, this means farming for own consumption. In other words, the entire production is largely consumed by farmers. Consumed means used by farmers and their family, and they do not have any surplus to sell in the market or any extra product to sell in the market. A small land or whatever they produce, that all for their own use. There is no extra or surplus to sell in the market. In these types of farming, land holding are small and fragmented. Okay, land holding very small, 1 acre or 1.5 acres of land. Cultivation techniques are primitive and simple, very simple techniques, cultivation techniques like canal irrigation or monsoon rain. They depends on rainwater. They use all the natural fertilizers. Okay, in other words, there is a total absence of modern equipments like tractor and farm inputs like chemical fertilizers, insecticides or pesticides. Very important that there is no modern equipments. They use bulls to plow the land. Okay, plowing process beginning, we have seen a picture. The same type of techniques they use in the field for plowing the land. They never use any insecticides or pesticides or fertilizers or artificial chemical fertilizers or pesticides in the field. In this farming, farmers mostly cultivate cereal along with oil seeds, pulses, vegetables, and sugarcane. So what are the crops they produce in the subsistence? And now coming to commercial. Commercial in the sense entirely business. Okay, they produce their product or whatever the yield they get, they sell. In the market. Commercial, okay, or labam, profit oriented. Commercial farming always profit oriented. Their main aim is to get good profit, good income. In this system, farmers use inputs like irrigation, borewell irrigation maybe, chemical fertilizers, insecticides, pesticides, and high yield varieties of seeds, etc. That is the importance here. So always you must remember subsistence farming in the sense farmers produce their products for their own. They are the consumers. There is no surplus to sell in the market. But when it comes to commercial farming, they're profit oriented. Their main aim is to get maximum profit from their yield. It's a market. They sell all product in the market. Okay, so that is the difference between subsistence and commercial farming. And some of the major commercial crops they have given are cotton, jute, sugarcane, groundnut, etc. Rice farming in Haryana is mainly for commercial purpose and some areas. Okay, as people of this area dominantly wheat eaters. It means, Haryana, northern states. Northern states rice even they sell in the market because they have no more use with this paddy. Okay, they used to eat a roti, their food habits we all know. In North India, they sell all these products in the market. So that all about commercial farming and subsistence farming. Okay, so coming to intensive and extensive farming. See that underline, when we use large patch of land for cultivation, then we call it extensive farming. The large land. So in the very small problem we have there, extensive and intensive. In intensive farming, farmers can concentrate more on their land because it is a small area they use for intensive or more care you can see. Intensive farming record high production per unit of land because a small area and what we call like specific concentration or they can specialize that crops. It means more concentration on large area in the sense many people cultivate and crop production may be there, but it's not effective like intensive production. See, the basic difference between these two types of farming is amount of production per unit of land. Very important that amount of production per unit of land. One is large area, one is small or a particular land. See, in comparison with the temperate areas, temperate zone, torrid zone, and frigid zone, already different zones like USA, Canada, USSR, India does not practice extensive cultivation. When we use large patch of land for cultivation, then we call it extensive farming. Here, total production may be high due to larger area, but per unit production is low. Per unit production is low. Two cases you must remember there. When it comes to intensive, see in India, extensive cultivation can be observed in Punjab, Haryana, Western Uttar Pradesh. Intensive farming record high production per unit of land. Best example of intensive cultivation is in Japan, where availability of land for cultivation is very limited. Similar kind of situation can be observed in the state of Kerala in India. It means, in Kerala, like land is not sufficient for cultivation, even though whatever available there, they are cultivating and they're getting good yield from the crop field because their concentration, and it means small area, not extensive or large area. Some people and some land, they used to cultivate and they get good yield. So that is the difference. One is wide and one is small area. Okay, so that is the difference, extensive and intensive. And finally, we have plantation farming, like tea, coffee area, coffee plantations. Plantation farming is an artificial and established farming. See, it is an estate where a single cash crop is grown for sale. Only that particular crops they cultivate for sale, that we call plantation farming. Ooty, Kodaikanal, like that hilly region. Okay, whether cool climate is needed for these all crops. Only a special crops, only one commercial crop, which gives more income. So that we call plantation farming. Artificial and established form, we can say. Okay, so this is the difference between difference between subsistence and commercial farming. So you can expect this question, what is the difference between subsistence and commercial farming? Otherwise, types of farming in India. Explain about types of farming in India, subsistence and commercial farming, intensive and extensive farming, plantation farming. These are the main 3 types of farming which we can see in our country. I hope everyone understood these 3 concepts. This all introductory, but still we didn't enter into the concept. Even in the concept content book also, same topic you can see if you like just to go through that later. Okay, so these type of, see some more points we can see there. This type of agriculture involves growing and processing of a single cash crops purely meant for sale. Tea, coffee, rubber, banana, spices are all examples of plantation crops. Examples of plantation crops, please note it down. Spices also come under that: banana, rubber, coffee, tea. Okay, so most of these crops were introduced in India by Britishers in 19th century. These all products came from other country. Okay, Britishers introduced here this type of crops, this type of farming activity. So next is finally 4th one more we have mixed farming. It is a situation in which both raising crops and rearing animal are carried on simultaneously.
Okay, students, that is the end of the session. Please prepare well for your FA2 that is going to be held tomorrow. Okay, all the best.